Hey guys, I'm Joe and welcome to Anachronic Comics. This is episode 9?
Nine, baby.
Episode 9 of the comic book crowd. And we have quite a show for you tonight. We've got not only our usual very introspective and, hands-on subject, but we have a drawing contest that a challenge from Steve, because he knew that his wife Steph was going to win. That's all. So that's going to come up a little bit later on. We're also going to have everybody that votes on it has a chance to win a mystery box as well. And I'll show you how to do that a little bit later on. But let's introduce ourselves. Let's go clockwise around the screen.
All right. Well, first off, I'm Alan at Climbing Comics, and I'm happy to be here again with this great group of people. Passing it on to, this side?
Oh, is this me?
Yes, that's
holy smokes. All right.
I thought you were a teacher.
Yeah.
You don't know what clockwise means?
Well, I'm a teacher. I'm not a... Yeah, I guess that's my bad.
I'm not a scientist.
I'm just shocked we got up to 9 episodes. I don't know what we're going to do if we do 2 more because I only have 10 fingers on my hand. All right? So, super excited to be here and talk about a great issue. And I'm going to show some people up that think they have good artistic value. All right, so now... the next round is Wayne down here.
I've been introduced. Yay. I'm Wayne, Squirrel Madness Comics. Happy to be here again. I actually thought this was 8. So hearing it's 9.
Is it 8? Maybe it's, I don't know what it is.
No, I thought it was 8, but if it's 9, I'm like, wow.
It's 9.
I can't believe you've been doing this 9 times, but always happy to come here every month and hang out with my good friends and chat comics and have an awesome time. So I always get my lefts and rights mixed up on camera.
I'm just going to go like
Master
this.
and Madam Blaster. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there. And we are super excited for the show. Let's hope it's 9. Let's hope it's 9.
I think it's 9.
Okay.
Well, before we get to say hello to the people that are in the chat, I just want to I want to say something which I just noticed and I feel really, really bad about. When we have our introduction, we set up that introductory video a while back, but Madam Blaster joined the group and she's nowhere to be found there.
That's okay.
So I think Blasters, you have to give me something else so that by episode number 10, we can make sure that both the Blasters are there, not just some guy hiding his head in a Reggie Collects hoodie.
We will.
I have noticed that every show, but I forget to say it, after the show is over. I'm like, I need to tell Joe about this.
Okay, so
Sorry,
hopefully
madam.
we'll correct that for the next time around.
It's okay. No offense.
So of our duo, I'm the sidekick.
Yeah.
I'm the sidekick.
So let's say hello to some people that are here. Okay, we have X11 Bravo. How you doing, my friend?
What
Good to
up?
see you. And let's see who else we have. We have Mark Andrews. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hello.
Wellbore. Yes.
Wellbore.
Good to see
Canada's
you.
being well
Good to see you.
represented. That's good.
Anybody else in here? Somebody new, I don't think. Trev the shipping.
Trev?
Hey, Trev.
Yes.
Hey, Trev?
We have Dave Bratton. Dave.
Hey.
We're going to talk about you in a minute.
Yeah.
Or two.
The good Bratton brother.
The better of the Bratton brothers?
I don't know about that. I'm just saying good.
Okay. Brian LCS. Yes, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
I understand
Hello.
that, Brian, some people are voting for this show, which is really great. We appreciate it.
Woo.
All right. What was it? The collaborative one for like under 1,000 or something like that. Whatever. Very cool. If that happens, all the better.
Can't wait for
Okay.
breakfast tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's that?
Can't wait for breakfast with Brian.
Oh, you
It
guys
is
are
a
getting
highlight of the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave Bratton. Yeah, hi, Brian. Okay, good enough. All right. So we're going to start off talking for a bit, not too long, but about almost a month ago now, CGC came out with their modified defects listing on their labels. And a lot of people have talked about it. I sent it off to Reggie, who told me, why are you worried about this? And I had about 10 give and takes on him about it. And then he had it on the show. We talked about it a little bit. But after hours, last time, we had a big discussion about it. So Steve insisted that we put it on the next show. So we're going to start off with that for a while. And then we get into the drawing contest. All right.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel pretty good about my stuff, but we'll see what happens with this. I'm probably going to vote for the best stick figure, however. So
Yes.
let's start off by taking a look and seeing what the CGC had to say. So this is from their website. It basically followed what the email had to say. So what they said, it was here, based on feedback from prominent members of the collecting community. I don't know who they are. Certainly not me. Anybody else on the comic book crowd contacted?
It was me. They
it
consulted
was
me.
Steph. Okay, well, at least then we know that there was somebody good there. All right.
They didn't
They are
contact
implementing
me.
changes. They will reduce the number of defects that are identified
Who
on
do
the
these
comic
people
book
think
label.
they are? Nobody contacted me. This is outrageous.
I told them not to when they call me up. Anyway, so we all know that on the labels, they did have a number of defects that were there. Now, what they're saying here was that because graders notes are available to members, all right, that they, after speaking to these prominent collectors, decided to take some of these things off that they were putting it on because it would be redundant if they kept it on there. Now, for people who don't know what redundant means, it means he's saying it twice, right? Okay. So what they're not going to put on it anymore are if there's have stickers on there. All right. Now, maybe you could see a sticker if it's visible. Siamese pages. I don't know how you would know that unless they say it. Punch holes. Staples added after manufacturing. All right. Staples that were removed. Detachments aren't going to be there. A fully split spine. And you can't see that sometimes. Tape. Significant missing parts from the cover. Lamination. Miscuts. Puzzles or coupons filed out. So those are the things they're going to take out. They're going to continue to label any significant missing pieces, pages, wraps, inserts from the interior of the comic, which is good because you can't open it up. And the book's grade will reflect all missing parts. So the grades are still going to count. If it's something that's going to take something off the grade, they're going to put it in there. But they're continuing the use of incomplete on its label, as well as affects story. So they'll say if there's something missing pieces or pages, but not if it affects the story or does not affect the story. All right, they're still going to talk about restoration, conservation, qualifiers, including some of these other things that are there. So this is what they said. This is what the email had to say about that. So, Steve, what do you think about this?
Well, before I get on my soapbox, I want to say, like, I'm not happy with this, but it doesn't mean that I'm still not going to utilize CGC or it's the end all be all. So I want that to be like an asterisk to the things I have to say. I don't like it because it actually forces a new step. I have to take a new step in like considering a book. I have to actually log into their website, and I already have a membership, right? So that's why it's not necessarily a financial impact on me, but it does force me to go look. If it's a low grade Amazing Spider-Man Gold book and it's a 1.8 or a 2.5, this is a new step where I have to go and pull those graders notes up that I normally would not go do. So I don't like that because someone paid for this grading service, and I'm looking for consistency in what's being offered and provided. And when it's changed, I understand why the company's doing it, because someone might get it reslabbed to make it more visually appealing for resale. But I ask myself, right now, this might not be such a big deal because I have a membership. If I don't have a membership, it's a big deal because now I have to purchase one to review these extra notes that used to be there that are now hidden on the website, as I would call it. I'm afraid that this is step number one in a phase where more information will be taken to the website and removed from the label. is it a bridge too far to say a year from now that the page quality moves to the website and you have to have a membership to see, and now it's not on the label? Ask yourself about all the information that's on the label. Why is it there? And if they migrate it to the website, their website, right now, you don't have to pay to look at that if you have a membership, but maybe they change that too, and you have to pay more to review this information that used to be there and now it's on their website. So I want consistency, and I don't like it changing a lot, and it seems to be like that's the road we're headed down. So
well, some people were saying, you talked about the money, and I see the teacher going like this or whatever, but remember, there were also two price increases. Since BlackRock took over, there were 2 price increases. And now they're basically forcing people, if they want to know what's going on there, either to rely on the seller, assuming the seller knows, may not know, and also then to pay, what is it, $25 for the ability to look at these type of things. So to me, there's more of a money grab here, and it could be the BlackRock effect with respect to this. Like, why are you giving this stuff away? And CBCS, has been giving the greatest notes away for a while. They have that QR code or whatever it is at the bottom. You just scan it and the code comes up for free, or part of the cost. So I think they felt they had to do something, but I think they felt that, BlackRock felt you should charge for it.
I mean, I could anecdotally, you could go back to that first sentence on the press release that said they consulted prominent members of the, they could have just skipped that, because it is sort of like, what does that even mean? Are you?
Yeah.
We're all paying, I believe we're all paying the same price for the same service. So that rubs me a little bit the wrong way. So I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. I want to defer to Madam to hear what she thinks about this as a sort of someone who's going to inherit all these books from me, and knowing that less information is on there for her to, know what's going on with the books. What do you think, Madam?
I feel like I'm getting a cereal box that is, 24 ounces, and now it's only 16 ounces, but I'm paying the same price. And, I feel like it's just, chipping away at the quality of customer service.
I feel like I'm bagging my own groceries at the grocery store. I'm having to go and find this. I have to go to the website to get more information. That's what I feel like.
And if you're at the Comic-Con in New York, sometimes you're in there, you can't even get, if you take out your phone and you want to find out what that is, you can't get service all the time. So I'm not even talking about doing something from your house, but if you're out and about, maybe you can't even access it potentially.
Yeah.
You can't get cell service in NYCC? Is that convention center
In some areas, it's a little bit difficult. They have their own Wi-Fi, but they have probably a gazillion people trying to access it at one time, and I'm not sure they have enough bandwidth for that.
Right.
Well, I'll just add to that, for those who may be coming to Fan Expo in Toronto, if you're in the Metro Convention Center and you're even on 5G, and you're looking at comics, getting like stuff on your phone is nearly impossible. It takes 5 minutes to load a page. So, yeah, that's a real problem.
I just sent my passport renewal application off in the mail today, Wayne.
Awesome.
I can't promise it'll be back by then, but I put my application in.
One of the things I wanted to say, just to add one part, the first statement that they make, which is, after consulting, prominent members of the comic community, I always look at that statement, and maybe I'm being naive, but I'm looking at it going, but did you? Or are you fawning off your decision by saying, we consulted some people, but really you just made a unilateral decision and are kind of deflecting that decision because it's going to be poorly received, by saying, but we talked to people? No, you didn't. You made a decision on your own and you didn't consult. That's kind of how I feel probably happened. I'm maybe naive. I don't know. Maybe they did talk to people. I just don't think they did.
I'll add one thing.
Consulted themselves in house.
They
Exactly.
consulted the bean counters and said, "We're going to make more money." You know, they could have skipped that part. They could have skipped that part.
Because I think at the end of the day, if they wanted to generate goodwill, given all the bad press and bad will generated with increased service fees twice in a year, is to say just that one thing. You can put in a number from the that's associated with the comic, and we will give everyone access to graders' notes across the board equally, just like CBCS gives them. That's our gift to you. But in exchange, what we're going to do is make you actually do that work a little harder. I don't think it would have maybe hit. It would hit hard, but I think people would have accepted it more if they said, just like they've recently trying to sort of dial back some of the bad will by doing the changes in terms of the insurance and shipping costs that they've just recently announced. They're kind of like, you know, give with one hand and take away with the other. But if they just said, we'll give everyone access to notes, but you have to do your own research.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a bit better. I don't know.
Yeah, but to
You want to go next, Alan?
Yeah, like to add to that point that you said, Wayne, because it's funny because I remember looking at one of the Overstreet guides, right, to grading comics. In the back, they have a list of like their list of prominent members that they kind of get feedback from, and you can kind of tell like, you know, they're shop owners, they're people that are like kind of bigger in the community. So if CGC is doing the same thing, they may have a skewed point of view in terms of like who they're making this change for. Because like when I talk amongst like our comic book community, like I think who said it? Mark said it in the chat, and I had this on my four pieces of notes. Like, who's actually asking for this, right? Because I don't remember any of us complaining about less information or having too much information. Honestly, one of the things I would have thought is, why not put the grader's notes in the back of the label if people don't want to see it in the front? Like if it's like kind of bothersome to them. But the more information you have, like I think the better. And kind of secondly, like, rereading that CGC post, they basically said, what was it? Like associate level and above. And I was like looking at the different subscription tiers, and that's basically the lowest paying one, right? That's the $25 one. There's a premium and an elite one. So essentially, if you're it's not really free. You're already paying for the service itself, right? So I think the issue here is for those that are just trying to collect these books. For example, like I can't count how many times I went to eBay. I looked at a slab, and I couldn't see the barcode, right? How am I now going to vet it for myself, right? Yeah. So in the end, who does this actually benefit? Does this actually benefit? I think this benefits those trying to might try to skirt underneath like selling higher dollar for a certain book that may have more defects, because now when I look for books, I look for each of these different defects to know like what is a proper price for this. So I clearly don't like it. And I'm trying to rack my brain of like, what are the benefits? What are the actual benefits to doing this? But I think I'm just gonna pass it on because I'm trying to wrangle this in my head still.
All right, we're looking at this from a lot of different angles, and I'm going to try to break it down in the number one most basic way to look at it. But before I do, I want everyone out there who's watching this, if you have not seen the Grader's Notes videos on Alan Climbing Comics YouTube channel, go watch it, because it is like an expert class on how to grade a comic book. You guys, if you haven't seen it, you are truly missing out. It's one of the best resources on YouTube for learning how to grade comic books. But I liked what you said, Alan. You quote, and I wrote it down. I got notes, guys. Alan, the issue is for those trying to collect. Well, yeah, but who do you think the prominent people are? Now, I always again, you guys know I teach. I say to my classes, and I teach high school classes, and I say, if you don't learn anything from Mr. Woods' class for the next 4 years of high school, and guys, I teach American government. I teach civics. I teach economics, world cultures, history, U.S. history. I tell them, if you don't learn anything, you better know this. Money makes the world go round. Money drives decisions. Now, how that plays into this, okay? Alan, the issue is for those trying to collect. Those trying to collect comic books don't really care for this, right? But they're not the prominent members of the community. The prominent members of the community are the shop owners. They are the guys going to these cons selling these books. They are CGC's by far biggest customers. CGC doesn't care about my 10, 15 book a year lot that I send down to CGC. They care about the guys that are sending 5, 6, and guys, some people send 10,000 books a year down to CGC. Those are the same people selling the comic books. They want their customers to not know what's going on. They want, get rid of that. A 5.5 is a 5.5. Who cares about any of the graders' notes? It's not on there. Whenever they increased the prices the last couple of years, there was a big backlash. People say that, but guys, again, my 10 to 15 book lot that I'm sending to CGC, that's nothing, okay? That's not even a drop in the ocean. The people that are mad are the big sellers, okay? It raised my prices, what, 20, 30 bucks a year? Nothing big. But those guys sending in 10,000 books, hey, that just jumped their, if it's a $2 increase, that just it just jumped their fixed cost $20,000. Now, guys, this is a business. This isn't, we like to think about the hobby being altruistic. It's a lot of nostalgia for what we went, our childhoods or whatever. Good, fun memories. This is a feel-good hobby for us. But this is a flat business. This is, dollars and cents, and people are trying to make a living with it. So the sellers, they don't want you to know. They don't want you to see that. They don't want you to figure out, oh, you know what? I might not get this book when this guy's selling another one over here. But you know what? The spine is not detached. Those sellers are like, hey, I just lost a sale because they put on greater, notes right on the label. Now, I also am looking at it like this, okay? Who cares? Seriously, who cares? If I am buying a 9.8, modern book, it's a 9.8, okay? I mean, there are actually zero graders notes. Guys, if I'm going to drop, let's just say $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on a comic book, okay? Which I don't do a whole lot. But if I'm going to do that, that's a big financial... Yeah, right? That is a giant financial investment for me, okay? I can't look at this as a kid's game. I got to grow up and look at it as this is a financial transaction. I am putting my money someplace. I am investing it. Very similar to if I was doing some giant insurance from some guy in New York City, okay? I need to make good financial decisions. So, you know what? Grow up. Do your research. Go online. Look up the grader's notes. It's going to take 5 extra minutes unless you're in New York City where you don't get cell service. It might take you 10 minutes, okay? But it's going to take you a little bit extra time. But so what? We're making giant financial decisions. I feel it's completely irresponsible for somebody shelling out a lot of money. And guys, $5,000. I've never spent that much money for a comic book, okay? That'd be crazy money for this guy. 100%. No, I didn't spend that much. I said I'd like to, but I haven't done it.
Up your wife.
But, yeah, don't tell her. Shush. Anyhow, although she's got a lot of really nice purses over the years, so I think her and I are pretty even. Okay. So anyhow, I definitely think a wise buyer needs to do the research, and they need to look up the grader's notes. Do I think it's a little bit of balderdash that you have to do that extra step now? Yes, I do. But at the same time, I know where it came from. All right, go ahead, brother.
I don't see now. We had a whole show on the whole thing about whether grading and so forth hurts or helps, the hobby. If you're a hobbyist and you're not spending that $5,000, yeah, that's a little bit different. I care if there's a spine split. Not even if I'm buying a 2.0. All right. I'm looking to complete my Justice League of America Volume 1, right? And so I'm saving up some money. I know that Brave and the Bold 28 is tough, but the JLA #1 that I have, has no cover. I bought that as a kid. It has no cover. I don't know why. So I've been looking to see, can I replace that one, right? And there's some that have come up. What's that?
You got to look, see if John has that cover. That's my advice.
Yeah, I don't think he does that one. All right. No. So, but to me, I've looked at some. They're not cheap, so I'm looking for something lower grade, right? And when I'm looking at it, I found a couple that I was very interested in, but one of them had a split spine. And I said, you know, I'll wait. I don't want a split spine on that type of thing, right? So for me, I'm not looking at doing these transactions from a spec standpoint. I have very few books that, I mean, I call myself an accidental speculator. Why? Because as a kid, I bought all these books, you know, and if I want to sell them, I slab them, I could sell them for money. But that was an accident. That's not what I was doing. And even now, I don't look for books on a spec basis. I look for books that I would like to have in my collection. All right. So that's not me. And so to me, when I look at CGC, right, or CBCS or any of the others like that, I'm looking to see, and why I went towards CGC, at least in the beginning, was consistency. All right. I'm looking at this. You're saying a 9.8 is a 9.8, yeah, or a 5.0 is a 5.0. Yes, in the eye of the beholder, right? Right? If you take a look at it, if you get it to another person, it might be something different. But the nuances of that particular comic book and cover is important to the buyer. All right. It's important to the buyer whether or not he's looking at one 5.0 and another 5.0. One of them might be a 5.0 without the split spine. One might be with the split spine. And I would take the one without the split spine because it might have other things that are bad with it, but the presentation is just as good in both. But I know that has a split spine and I don't want it. So now going to what,
and you would be right.
I have to take the same, I have to take that step, right? There are people that are buying books, whether it's on eBay or what have you, or newbies, right? And we could, I mean, Madam,
we were all newbies at one point.
That, you know, may not understand or know these things. I mean, some of us made mistakes anyway, buying books we thought was one thing and not the other, and we have some experience on that. A newbie buying something may look at the book, it may look really good, and may have like three or four of those things that they're not putting on the list anymore. And he may not even know that you can get grader's notes on the stuff. I mean, to me, that takes away from the fact that I could look at a CGC 5.0 and know that there's a consistency there with respect to what's there. Because if I look at it, it looks like this 5.0 is like this 5.0, but there could be so much happening behind the scenes that makes those two books very different.
I will say this to you, Joe. No, you're right. The thing is, Joe, is you're right. Us as collectors shouldn't have to go do what you said. I mean, a 5.0 with a split seam, which I don't know if you'd get that high of a grade if you had a split seam. But anyhow, like, we should be able to have that information. Completely agree with that. I'm just saying CGC, that's not their big concern. They're worried about their biggest customers. Their biggest customers are the ones selling them. They're the ones who want to get rid of the notes off of the label. But everything you said, Joe, I completely agree with. I don't want to have to go buy a book and then find out it has a split seam later when I could have bought one without that, you know, with the full intact book at the same grade. I would have been upset. And I completely agree with you. I just don't think CGC cares.
I have to say, we might have to file our first hurt feelings report because Matt Woods told me to grow up. And I love me some Matt Woods. Can I get a Matt Woods, madam?
Matt Woods.
So Trev, he brought up a good point in the comments section, and it plays into this conversation. All the graders notes are not on the label, right? You could have a 9.6 and it's like spine ticks, and that's not on there. They decided early on that list was super critical. What Joe was saying, these are major critical situations where somebody added a staple or something and it's not the original staple or whatever, all that laundry list. They said this is more important than your normal defect. And that's what I started off, and I'm in line with Joe. And Matt, I completely acknowledge and get, and they probably did consult with some big people who are spending those big dollars. That probably happened.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it for a financial gain on both sides of that conversation, for sure, of the matter. We want consistency. We all look to CGC, and there's a battle with CBCS and all this. And the reason I love my yellow label Stan Lee signed books is the faith I have. It's the principle and the faith in the witnessed signature situation. And someone on this panel, I'm not going to point fingers, told me a real life story about seeing a witness signature situation sort of go awry. But I still have faith in the system because that was a small fraction of a. So it's about consistency, and we don't want sudden movements. Like, this is a grading company providing us with a service. And it's our hobby. So we want that consistency that Joe's talking about. You'll get confused. There's going to be a line in 2022. Am I looking at a 2021 label that would have had notes on it, or is it a 2023 label? So I don't like
That's
that.
a good point.
That's a good point, Steve. Because you may be looking at the same book in the same grade, but it might be an older label with stuff on it, and the other one doesn't have it. And if you're not aware of what's happening here, you think the one that doesn't have any of the defects on it is a better book.
And what if I said that in my opening salvo, what if they change something else 6 months from now and remove some more? And it's like, I just want stability. I have patience. I can deal with the long wait times, but don't start tweaking the rules of the game.
Yeah.
I just want stability on the principle matter, on principle.
It's like they're dumbing down the expertise,
They're changing the way that we collect. Think about it. We're lazy. Human beings are lazy. So you cared about a split spine. In the future, we're not going to care. We're just going to go off the number. So it's going to change the way we all collect comic books, is what's going to happen. And that's unfortunate because I agree with Joe. I care about those nuances. There's certain things I'll tolerate. There's certain things I won't. But at the end of the day, I might get lazy and quit looking because no one else is looking and no one cares.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wish I know the train is moved past the station here for what they're going to do. I actually wish they chose to, I don't know, change the label or mark the label to say that this is, from this point on, these are the new practices that we follow, right? A different shade of blue or something that demarks that, hey, you need to look at graders' notes for this book and moving forward.
Just a tiny date in the
I don't
corner.
think they're going to do that.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Just a tiny date in the corner. You go, well, I know it's after that point in time, so done. And I have no real issues with some of the things they're taking off. I think large pieces of cover missing, things that lamination, things that may be a little more visible or obvious. Some of them I think are a little bit stickers. I don't know if that applies only to cover or internal parts, but I think leaving things like about tape, anything to do with fudging around with the staples, those are kind of things I think they should have left. Those are a lot more egregious than, miscuts. It's a miscut of a cover. It's obvious. You can probably see it. Things that are obvious, maybe fine, but less obvious things, like obviously you can see external tape, but if it's internal tape, then no. Then you should leave that, I think.
Consistency.
And I kind of wonder too how much of it is. I know they have more space on the back, but I kind of wonder how much of this is a space issue too, especially if they want to keep selling, those specialty labels with the graphics. It really cuts down the amount of stuff they can put on the front, so everything has to go to the back. And especially if you start getting older books, which may have multiple issues, at some point they're going to which issue do we label, which issue do we not label? Maybe there's some of that played into the decision as space availability on a label. I don't know.
I agree with Mark's comment. Joe, can you pull Mark's comment up?
Sure.
Great comment, actually.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I was watching this YouTuber. Trying to remember his name so I don't mess it up. I want to give credit. I think it's Reggie Collects. Okay, I don't know if anyone has ever heard of Reggie Collects, but it's a pretty solid YouTube channel. I'm not gonna lie. He does a lot of comic books.
I'll subscribe.
He's got a great haircut.
Does he? All right, I
Yeah,
like
he does.
good haircuts. Okay. Anyhow, he had this point on one of his videos that look at all your slabs and look at how many times that there's actually a greater note written on the label. Now, guys, I don't know how many slabs I have. I think it's around 100, give or take. Okay, I looked at every single one. I was curious. I don't have one single note on the label of any of the books that I own. But then something dawned on me, and I'm like, well, he's right. That YouTuber is absolutely correct. Then it dawned on me. I don't have a Hulk 181 with the Marvel value stamp cut out. I've looked at that book in the past, okay? My good wife, who I bought a lot of purses for, she got me that book as a birthday present a few years ago. Wonderful birthday present. But that was completely, I didn't know that she was going to do that. That was a complete surprise. But I don't own that Marvel or that Hulk 181 with the Marvel value stamp cut out because every time I would see that on the label, I knew not to buy that book. That's why I don't have any books that have defects written on the labels. That was nice. It was convenient. I told you, I know why CGC did it. And it's not for us people down here. It's for the big sellers. I completely get it. But I'm kind of mad about it. I still want those notes to be on that book because I don't want to have a Hulk 181 with the stamp cut out of it, which if anyone doesn't know, Marvel value stamps were these stamps that were in Marvel books back in the 70s. And Marvel even sold like a follow-along book where you could paste these, quote, value stamps. And all they were pictures inside the comic book of different characters. And you can cut them out and paste it, and you can fill up that Marvel value stamp book. And that was kind of cool. And back at the time, it drove a lot of sales because people were looking for these value stamps. But for us collectors, we like full, complete things. Like Joe, he doesn't want a split spine, okay? That's what collectors, we want full, intact books. Well, I didn't want that book missing a big piece. It was on the label. They are now not going to put it on the label. Now people are going to make mistakes. But here's another question. If you don't look it up, would you ever know that value stamp was missing? I don't know.
I think they said that they're not going to mention that. You'd have to look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But wouldn't
that's
those
what I'm
always
saying.
get a green label, though? Wouldn't the missing Marvel value stamp usually lead to a green label, not a blue label, so you'd know?
Hopefully. Sincerely, hopefully. It would be in a grader's notes, but I've seen some blue labels with some serious major defects that you got to look for, or, in the grader's notes. But so the green-blue label gets kind of goofy. I think they cut the grade if you're willing, if you don't want to conserve the grade, or not to conserve, but to qualify grade, they will lower the grade to whatever it would be if it wasn't there, but you can still get a blue label. So it is possible to buy a blue label Hulk 181 without the Marvel value stamp.
No.
All right. Well, why don't we go, because we have another part to this show. So why don't we kind of, anybody have any last words that they want to come up with, or last statements on this?
Steve, I'm sorry for hurting your feelings. I apologize.
I still love you, Matt. Matt Woods, everybody.
I love you, Master Blaster. Woohoo!
No, it's great. It's all in good fun.
Oh, heck yeah. All right. I'm going to crush this next segment here.
All right. So we're ready for the next segment.
Fun.
Okay,
we are about to have fun.
As usual, it seems like we mostly came out against what CGC is doing, although we understand that it's a money grab and that BlackRock wants to make money because they bought this, they spent that much money on this, they want to make their money back. Hopefully they'll
still going to use the service.
That's it.
There are many things we like about the service. It's just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't. Yeah.
And as was stated in the comments that have been popping up, I mean, CGC is the industry leader.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, even the people who say, well, I've had enough and I'm going to leave, a few of them may go to CBCS, but then their wait times are going to be just as long, and they'll find other reasons to be frustrated with CBCS, and they'll come back to CGC. So CGC has nothing to worry about unless they do something super egregious. This isn't going to hurt them in the long run, and we'll all still use them. So really, at the end of the day, sorry.
All right.
There you go.
Thank you, everybody. So we didn't solve anything again, and
No, I feel
we send
so
this up
much
to
better.
CGC.
Yes.
They're
I
not gonna
feel so
change their
much
minds.
better. I didn't have to pay
Comic
for
therapy.
therapist.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So last show, Steve, Master Blaster, we have kind of an after show, kind of like a decompressed time that we talk about things and maybe talk a little bit about what might come up next. And Steve issued actually a drawing challenge.
Thanks
He
for that.
said we all should draw something, I assume comic book, whatever related, and show it on the next show. So you guys should have been involved in the Instagram thread that has gone on since that time. I mean, some of the stuff was actually off color, I have to say, including people doing dance routines potentially. Just if you would watch that, that's definitely off color. I mean, as I understand it. So anyway, we have that. Thought it was a good idea. And so what we're going to do is we're going to show our drawings. Some of us have a couple of drawings as well, but we have to say which one is
Turn into butter, Wayne.
And what I said in one of my announcements was that we will have a vote on that, and the people that vote, as long as they identify themselves and we get in touch with each other, will win a mystery box from me. And if anybody here wants to throw in a book as well, that's fine. I'm definitely going to throw in a couple of the comics my mom let me keep. I'm going to throw a couple of them in there, and it'll be some, I don't know, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 books, whatever else. And so, but you got to vote. And so whether you're watching this live now, which you can vote right after, or you catch it on a replay, voting will end on July 18th. We'll announce it on our next show, which will be towards the end of July, like 29, 28, something like that. All right. So let me just show you guys first what we're going to do, how it's going to work. First, you have to go to my page. All right. Then you just click on the community tab. And down here, you'll see Comic Book Crowd Drawing Competition. Want to win a cool mystery box? First, watch the Comic Book Crowd episode 9 live on June 24th, or the replay, and see the mostly non-pro drawings of the crowd. Then come back and go for your favorite. Maybe you like stick figures. Here's a link to the entry form. So when you click on it and you go to the entry form, this is it. All right. If you want to watch everything again, it's right there. You click on which one you want. You got to give me your first and last name and your YouTube name or handle. All right. Because I'm going to put that on, and we're going to do like a Reggie Collects. We'll do a randomizer or something, and we'll pick the winner with respect to that. And then you guys get in touch with me. We'll probably pick 3. So we'll have 2 backups just in case. So that's basically what we're going to do. So
Nice.
Oh, Joe.
here we go. What order should we go?
Who's going first?
I think we should go with who started the idea.
Good idea.
Oh yeah.
Good idea.
Let's do
So let me
that.
do
Oh,
this.
yeah.
First,
Let me do this.
thank you, panel, for entertaining my ideas. They call me the good idea fairy at work. So please forget that I have a degree in sculpting from ASU before I show. I have a couple things to show. This is my submission. This is my submission.
Okay, so this is your entry.
This
Although
is
you
my
have other things to
entry,
show.
and I am very sorry to Frank Miller in advance.
Ooh.
Ooh,
That's
shady.
Oh, nice.
That's very good.
That is
Wow.
very nice. Where's that at?
All right.
It's wild.
Everybody's better than me already. This is
All
terrible.
Now, if you've
I'm
watched,
out.
if you've watched Madam and Master Blaster, Madam is a big fan of Neil Adams' Batman with the chest hairs.
Yeah.
So I was inspired and did a little bat symbol with some chest beads
How is the logo just being held up? Is it just glued to his chest?
Velcro.
It's a cutout. Alan, it's a cutout with
It's
some
a cutout.
hair
He
spots.
shaved his
Oh, he
chest. hair.
shaved the shape out.
He shaved his chest. hair.
Oh, nice.
All right. And finally, again, to all our fathers, happy Father's Day. I received this from my 8-year-old Victoria. If I ever commit a crime, this will be what you will see on the nightly news.
Very nice. That's
Nice.
awesome. That is
Hey,
so
put a hat
good.
on that and you look like Heisenberg from Breaking Bad.
Matt, I don't know why you're busting on me. It kind of looks like you, brother.
It does.
Just like you.
All right.
That's awesome.
It's kosher
That's
creole.
great. Those were good.
I mean, I would suggest that you guys go and we circle back to Madam. It's up to you.
Yeah.
But okay. All right.
Alan, you want to go
That's
next?
last?
Sure, I'll go next. All right. A little bit of inspiration here. I think so. I just did this last night. I realized that I have 0 colored pencils at home or crayons, but I found a couple of Sharpies. But I was kind of inspired by I was looking up some like corner boxes by like John Romita, like in like the early Spider-Man. And then I realized I cannot draw Spider-Man. So I was like, let's go with something a little bit more doable in terms of my comic skills. So I kind of looked up Scotty Young. I think his stuff is a little bit more cartoony, which is like easier for me to kind of not necessarily trace, but like easier lines for me to draw. I wanted to take an idea from our comic book crowd, and I made our crowd surfer. So here is
Nice.
there's our little corner box. I know we were kind of doing this on the 24th, so this is our 24-cent episode. And this is comic book crowd, and that's our crowd surfer right there.
Nice.
So this guy
Awesome.
is my entry into this.
Very good.
Very good.
Very nice.
Yeah, look, you could see you could kind of see the pencil drawing that I tried of Spider-Man on the back. Wasn't that great? So then I went with this.
It's almost got like a Lego figure kind of look to it.
Kind of
as
Yeah.
well.
graphic feel.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm impressed with
just-
that, Al.
Thank
Nice
you.
job.
Thank you. I really liked like just drawing in like all the black. Thank you.
Very
all.
cool.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you. Thank
cool.
you. So this is I don't know if this is an entry for our mascot, the crowd surfer, but I'm putting it in as
All right.
as our mascot, the crowd
Okay.
surfer.
I like it. I like that crowd surfer.
I like
Yep.
it a
Yes.
lot.
It's awesome.
Matt,
Well,
put in
okay.
position.
You guys
For
know.
dance time.
Oh, should I turn on the
Dance
music
time.
now, Matt? Should I turn on the
Okay.
music?
Boom, boom, boom. All right, get it pumping there. Anyhow, you guys know everything I do is amazing, okay? And you guys want to see amazing art? I'll show it to you. You like it?
Oh wow.
Wow.
Listen, Matt.
Yeah. No, I didn't do this. Dave Bratton did this because Dave Bratton is
Oh, boo!
That's not my submission. That's not my submission at all. But Dave, he sent me an A-OK. I absolutely appreciate it, Dave. And I've been holding it off, not posting on Instagram because I wanted to show it off tonight.
Nice.
big Here is
reveal.
my submission. Although, seriously, Dave did such a great job. Peter Parker, Black Suit Spider-Man. That's amazing. I love the jawlines that he has on this.
Yeah,
So-
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, this guy can't do that. So I figured this is such a great panel that we have here. It was, I hear myself in the background in somebody's room. This is awesome. But no, we have super awesome people here. And I was like, no matter what, we can have a great day here. And so I made a little rainbow. Now, it's raining. Oh, sorry, wrong finger. It's raining. There's a black hole sun. Who sings Black Hole Sun, by the way? I could not think about
Chris Cornell Soundgarden.
Soundgarden. And I did actually think
I thought that was a
Soundgarden.
spider.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was a spider too.
Hey, it's up to your
It has-
interpretation. Spiders
it's 10
scare
legs,
people. Okay, but no matter what, we have a rainbow going on a rainy day, spiders and black hole sun. So keep up and cheers, guys, because y'all make everybody, feel much better.
Very
That's
nice.
awesome.
Good job.
Very
That's
cool.
my
Very
submission.
cool. Very
And I
cool.
didn't have to dance. Okay.
All right, Wayne.
We
I'm
all
putting
missed
you
out.
on.
Okay, before I just go, I also want to show off my Dave Bratton that I received.
Yeah.
Firestorm,
Nice.
love Firestorm, and he knows it. So thank you so much, Dave. That's really awesome. I really appreciate it. What I want to do is go for something obscure. So I went for something that was both in a Marvel Classics Illustrated and Marvel Supernatural Thrillers #2 from the 70s, The Invisible Man. No, I just thought of that joke. No, that's not really it. Actually, I did go obscure. It's terrible. It doesn't show up very well. Does anyone know?
Nice.
All right. All
Is that-
right.
And it kind of
Yeah.
strikes forwards and goes. Does anyone know who it is, though? This is how obscure we're going. Texas Twister from Fantastic Four 177.
Nice.
Drew Daniels. He was a Texas cowhand who there was a tornado that happened that hit a nuclear power facility in Texas when he was roping cattle, and the particles hit him, and he had the ability to control twisters.
Neat.
So
Nice.
That is wild.
yeah, so his first appearance, he was he applied to join the Frightful Four, and then he found out they weren't going to pay him, so he said, "Screw that." And he ended up becoming a hero. He ended up training with Shields, had a super group called the Rangers, was part of the Group B of the Thunderbolts. So that's my terrible Texas Twister. I went
That's
obscure.
cool. That
Love
is
it.
cool.
Not very good,
That's great.
but there you go.
Very good.
Great.
All right, I
looks
guess I'll
awesome.
go. Let me get myself up here.
We're in trouble. I know, Joe. You did your own
know,
comic book
Joe.
at a very young age. I remember.
Yes.
That is true.
Yes,
Yeah.
but but it was the comic. There were 3 comic books: The Master Martian, The Super Ballet and Tap Dancer, and The Amazing Parakeet.
The Amazing Parakeet.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm interested in the tap dance.
So before I begin, again, thanks to Dave Bratton. I got to show what he sent to me.
Aw.
Let me see if I get.
Super
let me turn
sweet.
this off. Hold on a second.
Nice.
It might be better.
He's even winking at us.
Oh, that's
I like
good.
this
That's
guy.
awesome.
Yeah, Booster Gold, baby.
Yep. I love me some
One of my
Booster.
faves. So thank you, Dave.
Nice.
Excellent.
All right.
Dave was such an awesome person.
I'm going to
Yeah.
file my second hurt feelings report. I haven't gotten a Dave sketch. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Second hurt feelings report.
Ouch. Ouch.
But Chris says Dave Bratton is a great guy.
That's true.
Thanks again, Dave. Anyway, and I love that one. It's great. So I have to preface this a little bit. I'll show you what I drew, but I want to know, I don't know which one of these 2 that I'm going to show, and I have a third thing I'm going to show, but which one of these 2, there are 2 variations. Now, were we allowed to use, allowed to do drawings on the computer and all that as well?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'll show you the original of what I did. I decided to go kind of cartoony. I mean, I love Bruce Timm,
Yeah.
and his style. So I decided to draw Batgirl a la Bruce Timm, which is here.
Oh, very
Great.
cool.
Nice. Fun.
Wow. Nice job.
That's
But then I
amazing.
realized since I had penciled it in and everything, I said, you know what? I should have, like you said, Alan, look for color. So I decided to go on my computer. And I don't have a touch screen. So I had to use the mouse. So it's not the best. And I didn't ink the original one, which if I really was doing, I would have inked it first, but I didn't do that. But it kind of came out okay. Let me, this is drawing it and inking it on the computer.
Wow.
Oh, sweet.
Wow, Joe.
Looks
Nice.
great.
Oh,
That's really awesome. Yeah.
So I'm kind of happy with that.
I like it
mean,
with the color.
Beautiful.
Great choices and good composition for sure. Great color choices.
It was hard to do. You could see some of her leg and stuff like that is not quite even, but it was hard to do with the mouse.
Yeah.
All right. So
awesome.
if this is allowable, I'll enter this one. If not, I'll use the other one. I don't care. Either one is fine.
It's your
Oh,
show,
yeah.
Joe. It's your world. We just live in it.
I know,
yeah,
exactly.
Joe.
All right.
Of course
So
it's accepted.
whatever people want to do, you can enter this one or whatever you want to do. That's fine.
That's beautiful.
But now, since people did some other ones, I decided to draw something else. And when I took my art lessons a couple of years ago, one of the things that I tried to learn was how to draw people. Like they had a model there. He was sitting in a big chair, and they lifted him up, and everybody's drawing the chair and the model. And I said, I'm just going to draw his head, and just kind of focused on that. And he liked it so much, he took a photograph of it. He was going to use it on his, Facebook or something like that for that picture. So I haven't done too much of that. So I decided, and this took a long time, to do. So I decided to do somebody that we might all recognize. It came out okay. Had trouble with the mouth, but it came out okay. But I wanted to show it to people so you could tell me. This is the OG version, okay?
Awesome!
That's awesome.
Good job, Joe.
That's great.
Look at that.
Nice.
Hey, that looks like that YouTuber I was talking about.
Yeah, what I did was I went to one of his early ones where he's always wearing the tank tops.
Mhm.
I took a screenshot, and then I made it black and white so it'd be easier for me to be able to draw it.
That's awesome.
That's it.
Well
So-
done.
That's really cool.
Well
Pretty
done.
cool. Pretty cool. So I was kind of happy with it, because it was tough to do. So those are my that's my entry or my entries there. The Batgirl,
Nice.
and this was my extra. Though maybe I should have entered
Extra.
this.
All
Okay.
the bald sketches get extra credit.
All the what?
All the sketches of bald people, they get times 2 votes.
Okay.
All right.
All
So
right.
now
Now comes the
people got
Madam Breath.
You're up, madam.
All right. I just got one. I was inspired by David Nakayama's new Scarlet Witch Gala that came out May 28th, I think. So this is my
Oh my gosh.
Wow. That is
That's
amazing.
amazing.
Wow.
pick it up just a little bit there.
That's
That's
really
all
cool.
right.
That's a lot of
It's
hair.
much better, of course, but
That's amazing.
What did you use to draw?
Yeah, what was it? What was the medium
Here,
you
I'll
used?
hold it. You talk. You just.
it's just gray paper and just some black and white markers and some white.
It's interesting. My
White pen.
art teacher told us that we should. I forgot about this, but I didn't have it. It says we should draw our stuff on gray paper.
Yeah. Because the
That
white
is amazing.
Thanks.
That's really great.
Wow.
I've never seen that image before. That is an awesome looking image.
Yeah,
did
well,
that?
his original's awesome. So
Yeah.
Tell him about on Instagram. Stephanie's been messaging him, and he's like responding, and I'm like, it might not be him, and it's like he has 10,000 followers. I'm like, it's him.
It's him.
no, there's 100,000.
100,000, and he's like,
Yeah.
Stephanie's been like, I did an homage and all this, and we're gonna be on the show tonight, so we're gonna after the show show him.
Ooh.
Why isn't he watching?
He might be.
He may be.
Totally, he's watching.
Yeah.
For sure. And then I have something for Pretty Fly because Pretty
sure.
Fly said like I was messaging him before and we were talking late at night and I was like, hey, I'm drawing, and he's like, I'm like, what should I draw? He's like, draw a dragon, right? This is long ago. And I forgot about it long ago, but Pretty Fly, this is for you.
It's an A-OK for filling in for us.
Whoa.
Jeez. That is nuts. That is
Sweet.
nuts.
Wait, that's
Somebody
the one
here's a
you're
real
not
artist.
submitting?
This is Pretty Fly's entry.
Wow.
Yeah, too bad he couldn't be on tonight. He had some other stuff he needed to get done.
Wow.
Well, he's gonna have a
Wow.
nice A-OK.
That's really cool.
Thanks, Doug.
There he is.
Oh, he is there.
It's
there he is.
coming. Holy shit.
There's our favorite pea fly. Love it.
Yeah.
I need your address, Pretty.
So,
That's nuts.
so again, I won't bother with us showing all our stuff again. But I guess maybe we should. Why don't we pull up
Okay.
our entries?
Do I have to show it compared to those? Oh, all right. Here.
Number one. Number one.
See, now I know what's wrong. I should have done it on grade paper, and it would have been the best.
It would have
Okay.
been very different.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what's wrong is the grade
paper.
paper.
All right.
Oh
So
my
just
God.
once again, just to make sure people remember what to do. What to do. All right.
This is
You go
one
back.
poster.
Let me show everybody.
I
Yeah.
wanted poster.
All right. You go back to the Anachronic Comics homepage. You click on the community channel, the community page. Go down to this thing here about the comic book drawing competition. All right. You click on this. This comes up. All right. You could win a nice mystery box from us. You have until July 18th to get it done, and we'll give you the result and the winner. We'll pick the winner on our next show around July 29th or 22nd, something like that. We'll let you know. That will be episode 10. Okay.
Nice.
All right. Everybody set?
Great job, guys.
Don't just right away think, Madam Blaster. Give it some thought.
Yeah.
Give it some thought. Sometimes things you see originally. Yeah, look at that. Come on.
Interpretation, okay? There's a lot going on right here.
There is. Yeah, I like that one too, Steve.
There is a bomb right there. Come on.
That is a little Frank Miller right here. Look at that. It looks to be the same.
Thanks,
All
Matt.
right.
All right, we're good, Matt. We're all good. You're good. You're in my good graces.
All right.
That's
Anybody
my
have any
buddy.
more?
And it's going to be from Matt Woods. I love it.
All right, guys. I think we've.
I get a vote, don't I?
I'm really anxious to see who's going to win. I mean, I have no clue. We'll just have to wait and see.
Well, I know who I'm voting for already,
Yeah.
but I won't tell you.
You're voting for yourself.
No, I won't vote for myself. I won't do that.
Anyway.
I'm a jerk, but I'm not a darn jerk, okay?
I don't think you're a jerk. Okay, well, this was a good show. I liked it. Steve, it was a good until I lose and I feel upset, it was a good challenge. But so all right, so anybody have any last words or stuff coming up on their channels or anything that they want to advertise?
We do.
Okay.
It is 9 to 9, and somebody's going to get a back massage on Sunday. And Doug
Or a
Bratton,
yellow label.
I want to tease Doug Bratton. He is going to be the determining factor. He has sent us 3 videos, one showing one book, one showing another, and then Madam will make her determination, and then the third is the big unveiling. So we're excited. We're very grateful to Doug, and it's we're really looking forward to it. So, and check your calendar, guys. It is time to do a mid-year review of whatever your goals are or whatever. It's that time.
Ooh.
So I'm going to get all the art and the goal books together. And in 2 weeks, we're going to do a mid-year in review. So we're excited for that. And of course, Stephanie's already hunting for more cosplay. It's going to be a good one.
Well, Madam's getting me some positive vibes here. So, yeah. So I'm going to be, I'm working on a couple of interesting videos. I'm actually working on like 3 or 4 at a time, so I'm not getting any of them done. But I'm trying to put out at least one a week, and it'll be on Wednesday. The one coming up is going to be either about Golden Age comics or episode 11 of the comics my mom let me keep, I think. I'm not sure which one it's going to be yet. So you can stay tuned for that as well. And anybody else?
I dropped a video yesterday about what's going on in Conan comic book universe going forward. Marvel's losing a big major character. If you guys want to go ahead and give that a view. And next week, I have a nice little haul video that I'm going to be dropping, hopefully on Monday.
Okay, and 2 other things. I've been a guest on Gary's Beast channel twice in the last week or so. It was about a week or so ago. I had the 10-1-1, where I showed 10 comics that are some of my favorites. One that, and actually it was 3 that had a story behind it. And then what I call the spec comic, although I didn't buy it really for that reason, but it turned out to be, right?
That
So,
that book, Joe, the Stan Lee book
Yeah.
from that was you check it out. I don't want to spoil it, but that was a great spec book.
yeah, so
That's an amazing book to have.
yeah, if you check that Gary B thing, that's pretty good. And just today, Gary B invited me, and I was on from 7 until 8:30. Then I had to run for this thing. I was on a show that he had where a bunch of us showed patriotic covers with American flags on them. I actually won one of the rounds, but there were some people there with some really dope comic books. A lot of them from like as back in the 1940s and what have you.
Oh, wow.
And if you see some of the names there, you'll know that there's people that collect that type of stuff. It was really, really just amazing. Plus, everybody was a lunatic on that. It was really funny. I was cracking up most of the time. So that might be worthwhile. So I'll give Gary B a shout out, one of my paisans from New York. So you might want to give him take a look at that and see me on there. Okay, guys.
Gary B is one of my favorites.
That's the show,
Oh.
right? Anything else? I want to shut anybody up.
Oh, so I dropped a video 2 days ago.
You did.
I went to a local comic book show, the Berkeley Comic Show, in my area. It's only vendors, so I picked up a bunch of books over there and ended up picking some for like a historical, because they had more historical significance than for necessarily the book itself. So I kind of dropped that information in my video that came out 2 days ago, and then hopefully I'll come out with more stuff soon.
Good video.
I loved it. The Doctor Strange. That was awesome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're wrapping up Wayne episode number 9.
Nice.
And so I want to thank everybody that showed up in the chat here and that showed up to watch it. I think at one point we were up to like 16 or 17 people, which was nice number for us.
Yeah.
And so if you know somebody who missed it, tell them to watch the replay, and so they can take a look and vote for for Stephanie. I mean, for the best drawing from the comic book crowd. And we had a kind of a cool discussion on CGC as well. And we'll be back next month with the winner of the drawing contest. We will pick the winner of the mystery box, and we'll have another cool topic or two that we'll talk about. So with that, let's everybody say bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
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 Peace.